Recently, I released a reel asking you guys, what are some content topics that you would like to hear me talk about? One of the questions was, what are some of the things that you're looking for in a good JV partner? Now, let's be clear. I'm looking for a partner, not looking for a student. That's the first thing. If you come to us and you say, hey, Titanium, I would like to JV with you, that does not mean that you get free education through doing a JV deal. What we are looking for, if you're asking us to dispo that deal, one, you need to have a deal. I mean that in a couple of different ways. First and foremost, it needs to be a good deal, something that we actually comp and underwrite, and we agree that the numbers make it a good wholesale deal for the end buyer and also a good deal for us as the wholesaler. The other way I mean that is don't come to us and say, hey, Titanium, I spoke to someone and they said they have a house you want to sell. And do you want a JV, aka teach me how to comp and underwrite this, call the seller, lock it up, do all of the work, and then let me make some money and also educate me along the way? That to me is not doing a JV deal. That would be us giving you free education, and hopefully the deal ends up being profitable at the end. We're not going to do that. So the only way that we would JV with someone is if they already have successfully acquired that deal and they have a signed contract with the seller. Now, the next thing that I'm looking for is transparency. I want to make sure that you are willing to be transparent about everything that's going on inside of this deal, including sharing the signed contract and all the documentation, making sure that we are not going to waste our time working on something that we don't even know if it's a legitimate deal or not. We have to have that transparency as partners in this transaction. The other thing that we're looking for is clear and concise communication. Communication can kill a deal, but it can also make a deal, make it to the finish line. If we are going to be working on your behalf to dispo a deal that you have under contract, we have to make sure that, one, yes, you're going to be transparent with us, but that you're also going to have an open line of communication so we can make sure that any questions that come along the way, we're going to get an answer. There's many times when you're dispoing a deal, the end buyer will ask you a specific question about either the condition, the occupancy, maybe a lease with a tenant, all kinds of different things. And we might not have that information up front. We need to be able to get a hold of you to get that answer so we can get the deal assigned as quickly as possible. Now, let's make the assumption that you have brought us a deal. We did the analysis. We agree with the numbers. We feel like it's a win-win-win for everybody, the seller, buyer, and us as the wholesaler. You've been transparent. You've communicated well. And we decide that, hey, this is something we want to take on. The other responsibilities that we feel you would have is pictures of the property and access. How do we get our buyers into the property so they can do their walkthrough? These are all vitally important in the dispositions process. One, we have to have the pictures to do marketing. And no, I don't want to take on the responsibility of getting pictures of a property that you've done all of the communication with the seller and understanding what's going on with the property. We want to see those pictures up front. Quite frankly, we would want to see those pictures before we even do the analysis. Access is vitally important as well. Majority of buyers are going to want to be able to access the property, do a walkthrough before they put an offer in on a wholesale deal. So we need to understand, as your dispo partner, how is that going to take place? Is it a lockbox? Do we need to schedule with the owner? Do we need to schedule with the tenant? And what does that actually look like? The other thing that we need to know is how many times are we actually going to be able to access the property? Now, these are all things that we normally figure out during our acquisitions phase and recon phase. But since we're now going into a partnership, we are going to push that responsibility onto you as the acquisitions partner. Our side, we will do all the dispositions, setting up the walkthroughs, as long as we have the ability to do that, and negotiating with the end buyers. We will also handle the transaction coordination. We want to take that out of the hands of the JV partner and make sure that we have that done internally so nothing falls through the cracks. Now, some of the last things that we're looking for in a good JV partnership is exclusivity. If you are going to ask me to dispo a deal, I don't want you having 2-3 other wholesalers trying to dispo the exact same deal and wasting my team's time and bandwidth. We are going to utilize all of our energy resources that we can to get this deal moved as quickly and as efficiently as possible and for the right amount. So we don't want to take that time if we think that you're working with other people. So exclusivity is very important. Another thing that's vitally important in a JV partnership is that we agree on what the assignment fee is going to be. And this is where a lot of newer wholesalers have a problem with JV partnerships. If you come to us and you ask us, hey, I want to move this deal and I have it under contract for $100,000 and I want to sell it or assign it for $120,000, but we don't think that the numbers fit. Like, hey, I don't think that we should try to move this for $120,000. I think the most we could get would be $110,000. And this is the reason why. A lot of times what we've actually heard from potential JV partners is, I only want to make $10,000. Well, it really has nothing to do with you and how much money you want to make. It really has to do with the end buyer. What does the end buyer actually stand to make, and is it a good deal for them? Otherwise, we can't do our job as the dispositions partner. So we have to agree on what those numbers look like and why we are trying to assign the property for the price that is set. It really has nothing to do with you and how much money you want to walk away with. Now, at the end of the day, I understand it's important for you to make a certain amount of money, but you do that on the acquisitions, not on the dispositions. The numbers are what they are. We say it all the time. It's math, not magic. So you have to make sure that when you're acquiring the deal, you get it at a steep enough discount so then you can make the amount of money that you want to make as the wholesaler, as long as it's still a deal for the end buyer. A couple of other things that come along during the analysis of JV deals. A lot of times people that are newer and are asking the JV, they have a problem paying attention to the as-is comps and the listed properties. What is our competition when we go to wholesale this property? What I mean by that is, if it's in a lower price point area and you're saying, hey, we should try to assign this deal for $30,000, but there's competition that's listed on the MLS at $20,000 and $25,000, our feedback is going to be, hey guys, we know that our end buyers are going to look and say, why would I buy your property when I can buy the exact same thing off the MLS for $20,000 or $25,000? This is all important when it comes to deciding that we're going to do a JV together. Now, there are some people out there that have access to Investor Lift, Deal Speed, Investor Base, and they say, hey, just send us your JV deals and we're going to sling it out there and see if we can get some offers. We don't do dispositions that way here at Titanium Investments. If you come to us and you say, I would like to JV, we fully expect, if we say yes to that deal, we are going to work that just like it's our own deal. And by work that, I mean, we're not just going to blast it out on Investor Lift and hope that a buyer comes to us. We are going to actively pursue end buyers. We are going to be working inside of God mode, cartel mode, utilizing Artemis mode to see who is actually viewing the property, for how long, how many pictures did they look at, and working that deal to see who can actually be our end buyer. If a JV partner is saying that they'll take on your deal and they're not following the exact same criteria that I just went through, I would say tread carefully. Make sure that this is a person that's actually going to be working your deal and not just trying to push out all of these JV deals in the masses to see if the Dispo software will sell their deal. Because at the end of the day, some of the Dispo software, like InvestorLift and Deal Speed, will sell a deal. But the majority of deals actually have to be worked by a dispositions person. They have to do reach out. I get text messages all day, every day from people trying to sell me deals from InvestorLift. I get emails. The majority of them are ignored, and that's what the majority of end buyers are doing. What makes your deal stand out from the masses? More often than not, it's that human-to-human relationship, that reach out, the conversation about why they should buy your deal over the competition. That's what we offer on the disposition side. So make sure that whoever you decide to JV with is doing the exact same thing, and they're treating your deal with the care and concern that that motivated seller deserves, and you as the acquisitions JV partner also deserves. Let me know if I missed something in the comments. And also, guys, if you got an idea for some content that you want from me, drop it in the comment. I might just make a video just like I did on this one. See you guys tomorrow.